As a person with a very deep voice, I'm hired all the time for advertising campaigns. But a deep voice doesn't sell B2B, and advertising on the wrong platform doesn't sell B2B either. That's why if you're a B2B marketer, you should use LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn has the targeting capabilities to help you reach the world's largest professional audience. That's right, over 70 million decision makers all in one place. All the big wigs, then medium wigs, also small wigs who are on the path to becoming big wigs. Okay, that's enough about wigs. LinkedIn ads allows you to focus on getting your B2B message to the right people. So, does that mean you should use ads on LinkedIn instead of hiring me, the man with the deepest voice in the world? Yes. Yes, it does. Get started today and see why LinkedIn is the place to be to be. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply.
Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I'm, as always, Seth, your host. Today I have Christian Hammer, who goes by Hammer. But that's also, I think he's got one of the coolest names, Christian Hammer. Like, think about that. That's just, it's a cool name. And Christian is the CEO and founder of Vala AI. He is the president of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Island County. He lives on an island in just out of Seattle. He's not Dr. No. He's not evil. He's actually a very sweet guy. He has a podcast that I was on called Techtastic. It was a lot of fun. We met via Podmatch, which is a really cool service for pairing up guests and hosts and all that stuff. And he's at the height of the AI revolution now. He's worked for companies like Nike and like big name people, like big name. The guy knows his stuff. Let's just say that much. He's been through the corporate rigmarole. He does his own thing. He's a very talented artist that likes to draw crabs. I've noticed on his website, c-hammer.com, and kois and other stuff. But I think the last three were crabs. So let's bring Hammer in here. How's it going, buddy?
Seth, lovely to be here, man. Yeah, the last four I think were crabs, and actually there's another one I just finished with crabs on it too. But it's a thing.
It's a thing. I mean, you're on the coast, so what do you have? Crabs.
Yeah, I'm on an island. They have a Dungeness Crab Festival here. So actually, it happened because somebody looked at some of my sketchbook weirds, and they're like, "Man, you should draw crabs. Crabs sell." And I was like, "Well, I don't want to draw crabs because they sell, but crabs are creepy, and I want to draw those." So I started drawing crabs. Yeah,
that's so funny. That's hilarious. So you've worked for big companies. And you've moved your way up in big companies, and you've done a lot of things. If anyone says you're bored, it would be not true, because I think you keep yourself plenty busy. So much, but you are not Dr. No. You're not evil. At least I don't think you have a missile base in your backyard or anything like that, and Bond's going to come get you or anything like that. So
yeah, no comment. Yeah,
no comment. Oh, there we go. Hey. And also your podcast is really good too, so I really enjoy that. So I enjoy being on it. So how did this all get started? Have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur? Have you always just been into technology? Like, what's the origin story of Hammer here?
The origin story. Now, see, this is where we get back into being a supervillain again, right? So when I was really young, my parents will tell a story, and actually my brother tells it best. But I was in daycare. And so, whatever that age is. And I learned how to make the origami throwing stars and some other origami things. And kids started paying me for them, like their lunch money. And I started paying other kids to make them for me, made a little catalog, got other kids selling for me. I actually had set up, it wasn't just the daycare center I was in, it was the elementary schools and stuff that are around the area. We had a little distribution network going on, and got in trouble for it. Like they were like, you can't sell stuff to other kids like that. That's, they don't have money for milk or lunch or whatever. But I did pivot right away. Like they said, you can't sell. They didn't tell me I couldn't charge to teach them how to do it. So we started doing that next. But I kind of remember it, but when, I don't know how old I was probably in high school when I really got into computers. The first time I really got to sit down with one, I was in fourth grade, and you got to be like, the computer was a new thing. And, this weird guy would come in with a cart and the computer would be on it. And, they'd let us have access to it. And so first I was playing like Oregon Trail, like every other kid in my generation. And then I was like, wait, you can do things. You can make this do things. All you have to do is learn this like programming language. That seems pretty cool. And pretty quickly got to feel like I was a wizard of this new world, this world that only existed in the computer. I could create magic that others couldn't. And that arcane knowledge and that power that came from being a wizard was really, stimulating, we'll say.
Yeah.
And in high school, I started really thinking about what that would mean. Now, this was before the internet existed in its current form. The World Wide Web existed. The World Wide Web did not exist. The internet did. We had
the internet's the internet's way older than you. Yeah, exactly. Internet, BBSs, you had to dial into just a system kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd telnet into somebody's box or you'd do whatever you were. And I was doing some stuff then. I was writing Perl CGI applications for, and people were paying me to do it. So I was getting ready to go off to university, and I thought I was going to go into the software, like package software, ship it on CD-ROMs and discs kind of world.
Remember those? Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I prepared for. But I also didn't think that was a real job. Because that whole wizard thing, like we were having fun with it. It was a game. I really thought it was something I would continue to do as a hobby, maybe do some little freelance stuff, but it would be adjacent to my career. And my career was going to be as an architect, not a software architect, a design building
actual
architect.
Drafting architect, like IMPay and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But thankfully, I was at university at exactly the right time. Mosaic browser came into the world. The World Wide Web happened, and I was ready for it. I said, wait, awesome. There's an opportunity now. So I started my first real which was Decaf Studios. I doubt there's any reference to it left unless you go back onto like the deep web searches. But we did type 1 websites for companies that were asking for it. The original Web 1 stuff, and kind of went from there. I did a bunch through 2001, I think, is when we closed the incubator, when the .bomb implosion happened. Yeah. But we'd had a couple good brides along the way, and that's when I jumped into the big companies kind of in earnest. I kind of gone back and forth. I went to a big company, and then I went to Banfield, the pet hospital, which was just starting up. And we had I think there was 50 locations when I joined. And when I left, there was 2,000.
Wow. We sold, that's how about growth?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We sold it to Mars, the candy bar company. Like they also own most pet food companies. And then did Extremes, which was a bunch of vertically integrated, extreme sports online retailers. Then went off to another big company. I think I went to Nike, and then I kind of went back and forth. And
you had fun.
Yeah. My resume, you look at my LinkedIn profile, it's kind of nuts. It's like, what the hell? He's over here, he's doing something big, and then he's doing his own thing, and then he's over here. One of my favorite startups.
I remember AppNexus. They were like a Web 2.0 darling.
Oh yeah, a big ad tech platform, AppNexus. Not as big as Google. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we sold.
I remember going to their offices in New York for a Web 2.0 day where it was like a scavenger hunt. You go between offices and get snacks and swag and stuff like that.
Did you ever come to one of the AppNexus Razzles?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's too bad. Those were. It was like demo day at Apple or I can't remember what they called their.
Yeah, it was on the West Coast. I've never been to the West Coast. I've been as far west as Wyoming. We're gonna take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
Well, we did these big razzles in New York, and they were
Oh, you
fantastic.
did? I never went.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
Uh,
shucks.
yeah. Oh well. I mean, I don't think AT&T kept that tradition alive after they acquired us, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
did that. And then, then went to Wayfair through their big growth phase.
Yeah.
Uh, was pulled away by IBM and AP Moeller Maersk for their joint venture called TradeLens. Uh, we shut that down because it was there's a long story there, but ultimately it's part of Maersk today. And
There you
then
go.
started on the new one, which is Vol AI, which has been a blast so far, and we're on a great trajectory already.
It's a Vala AI. You're essentially trying to automate software development with AI, which is like really neat.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, you were. You're pivoting again.
Yeah. I think that was it's still a decent description of what we're doing, but we're really automating technical operations.
Ooh,
It's all
new
this
answer.
Yeah, all this stuff that happens in a large organization with a lot of technology that kind of gets left to the sidelines that nobody really wants to deal with.
Yeah.
Like dependency management and upgrades, your security patching.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that at some point. Kind of thing. It's like,
yeah, we automate all that, so you don't have to worry about it anymore.
oh, that's great. So you found a niche that you're not going to like piss people off in. That's awesome.
That's right. And yeah, we have people saying, please give me, not please keep the hell out. Yeah.
Please don't. Please. Exactly. That's awesome. And then you also do the Big Brothers, Big Sisters, which is really good, giving back to kids who need it and stuff. That's fantastic.
I was the Big Brother of the Year. I've got a thing over there about it in 2013. And for me, I love to talk about Big Brothers because it's such a great program. I wasn't raised wealthy or anything. I was raised like lower middle class and then moving into like middle class. And so I had parents with strong work ethic that demonstrated it all the time. And so for me, the view of the world was, if you just put in enough, if you just try hard enough, you're going to make something for yourself.
Yeah.
Because that was the world I saw. That was the reality for me. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my wife and I didn't have kids, chose not to. And when there was a point, I don't know how old I was, but there was a point where she could tell I was missing something about that helping a younger person find a direction in life. Piece.
You don't want to keep them. You don't want to be stuck with them, but you want to help them out. Exactly.
That's right. And so she talked me into becoming a Big Brother, and that was a big eye opener. It, awesome. My little was from a part of town that I would not have gone into before that point in time. It would have been scary. Yeah. He came from a background with a totally different perspective. Like his dad was in prison.
They taught you as much as he taught them.
I think he taught me more because that whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality that I was raised with is complete fucking bullshit. Sorry for the language. Right?
Oh, it's fine. Go for it. It is. But it is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, stand here, grab a hold of your boots, and lift yourself off the ground. Good luck with that.
You can't. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes everything's against you. You just can't.
Yeah, and if you come from a perspective of my dad's in prison my entire life, my mom's, on disability, my brother's now in prison, my younger sisters are like running the streets and stuff like that. If you come from that, and the only thing that you've ever seen that is success is dealing drugs on the corner because that's where somebody gets some money. Yeah. How the hell are you ever going to? How are you going to find your way anywhere else?
Bootstraps, exactly.
Right, your bootstraps don't even exist. You don't have them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it opened my eyes to that. But Isaac went off to. He got a full ride scholarship to Lehigh University, along with a bunch of others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ended up getting a PhD in I don't remember what the heck it's about, programming life to do things we want it to do, but as a PhD from the University of Chicago in that. Brilliant kid, but because of his coming to my house for the first time, right, and seeing a new perspective and having that person that he could ask questions of was huge for him. But man, it taught me so much more about the world than I knew.
That's awesome. So what in your mind is the best thing about being an entrepreneur? Because you've done intrapreneur, you've done extrapreneur. I always say extrapreneur. You always done entrepreneur. You've done you've been all over the damn place. What's the best thing about being an entrepreneur in your mind?
You're taking a bet on yourself. You're not, taking a bet on a team of somebody else's idea about somebody else's plan. It's fully on you, and it is your chance to go and prove to the world if that's what you need. But for me, it's about proving to myself that, yeah, I can do this. I can build that thing. I can solve that problem. I can make the world a better place in this way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then on the flip side, what's on the flip side? What keeps you up at night?
Oh man. Am I I think there's a misperception, and if you've done this a bunch of times, that you've built some confidence and that you know exactly what you're doing. And I have some confidence. I do think I know mostly what I'm doing, but there's a lot of self-doubt that comes into every decision you make, because sometimes, I'm a big proponent of don't make a decision you don't have to make. Wait if you can, right? And trying to create a situation and where optionality maintains. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes a door can't be left open. You've got to close it.
Yeah.
And when you hit those moments and hit those decisions, I don't know anybody that doesn't have self-doubt. Did I make the right call there? Right. That's the type of thing that usually keeps me up. Did I make the right call there? Maybe it's a hiring decision. Maybe it's a product decision. Maybe it's a go-to-market decision. It doesn't matter. It's things like that. Currently, it's like one of the pivots we made, I think, is brilliant, but it's also like puts us in the firing line of some really large companies. And that, that's the thing. Like, how are we going fast enough that we're going to stay ahead of their development? Are we going to piss them off in such a way that they're going to come after us versus, partner and engage with us, right? So it's that type of thing right now. Yeah.
So then what is the most important? Go ahead.
Let's say, generally speaking, though, it's that I'm going to leave this world and it won't be any better for me having been here. Like you only get this one trip.
I think what you've done with Isaac alone has made it so you left it better than it was before, because you've helping out the kid along. He's not having a PhD, for crying out loud. That's a pretty big win.
That's enough. Yeah.
That's a pretty big win. I mean, like going from not being able to pull yourself out by your bootstraps and all that bullshit to being able to literally pull yourself up by your pull yourself up by your bootstraps with some help from Hammer here, and having the motivation and having the stableness of having someone in your life that isn't going through turmoil. I mean, that's huge.
And it's how can you do more of that? That's why I got involved with the Big Brothers program further and try to grow that program. So
it's great. So what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
I think your friends, find people that you trust. You don't have to trust them implicitly on absolutely everything, but finding that group of people that you can trust and carrying them with you wherever you go. I mean, we are, as human beings, I think of ourselves as even the great apes, orangutans and all those are tribal. They have their group, their family group, right? We evolved that way. We are tribal, and finding that tribe and carrying it with you is what makes us human. And without it, we're not, I don't think we're mentally healthy if we don't have that group of friends, that tribe.
You need that core, even if it's small. It's having a few good friends is better than having none at all. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So, Hammer, where can people find you online? Where's your big watering hole? Is it LinkedIn? Is it your website?
LinkedIn. We try to. I update there. Yeah, the company Vala updates there. The other great place would be listen to the podcast. You can find it at techtastic.tech. You can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. That's it's Techtastic.
It's Techtastic, and it's quick too. Like this podcast, you can get through it in a commute off the island. In your case,
that's right. You don't. Well, I don't know if you can get off the island in 15 minutes, but you can try.
You can get started on your travel off the island. Well, Hammer,
you can get in line to get on a boat. You get off the island.
Exactly. The boat's where the bottleneck is. But buddy, this has been so great having you on, my friend. I'm so glad we got to do this. And guess what? Yes. And we'll see everyone next time.
Awesome.
That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please review us in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps other podcast listeners find our show. If you're looking for other podcasts in the marketing space, look no further than the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcasts.net. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode.
This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.